so. So make you talk about the small things, so.
We don't come back to studio here again to talk about the small things. This is the Envirologist of Question and Take on 1FM. My name is Richard Bini.
Good morning, our people out there. My name is Tim Fufred, and I still work for the Center.
Good morning, my guys. Guy to studio today.
Endurance Oriakoba, one of Africa. All right, we don't come back to studio again as usual. We won't come talk about the small things. Our third partner, Madam Ayo Kuti Nefertiti, she say make her hail now. You know, say she be Ajala, she's on the moon. So last week we came and we talked about the Nigeria of our dream and our part in shaping it. Yeah. So that last week we said a lot of things about the roles of youth in shaping the direction where Nigeria they take now. So all right. So but before we go ahead, for the area where they stay, Mr. Fred.
Yeah.
The area where they stay, you get one man, his name na Danjuma Yaya.
Okay.
Yeah. The guy a good guy. So I see make I use this opportunity to take hail him. Tell him thank you. Because you get one canal with the our street for there, that David Ebron Street. You get one canal with the side. The tea over full water the whole area the flood. But the guy they take him as
That's not.
yeah, he will bring dredger. What do they call that? That's what they carry sand now. Caterpillar, but getting excavator for the back. He go bring up, he go clear the canal.
Okay, yeah.
Every year, and he just did it some couple of days ago. So I want to say a very big thank you to
What do you say that be name?
Engineer Danjuma Yaya.
Engineer Danjuma Yaya. We are aware of all the things you are doing in that environment. I hope a lot of people will learn from you and begin to do the same within their environment. So that at the end of the day, the Nigeria that we want will be a better one, the one that we are contributing into, not the one that we are only asking government to come and do for us.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So thank you once again. Make I do for Danjuma and every other person within my area will contribute to making the area a livable environment for us. Not too much. Thank you very much. All right. So that last week we'll not be finished the discussion based on our role as game changer. So which day here? All my friend content is here. Father say for Nigeria to good, for Nigeria to better, you go play your own role.
Yeah.
I go play my own role to make Nigeria better. So today for this program, we will not continue. We will not finish on that last week Thursday. So we say okay, we bring one very important personality. Make it join this conversation today. Make it also put mouth for this our discussion. The Nigeria of our dream and our part in shaping it. Is it always complain or how we want to make it be? So we say okay, we bring our guy like Oriakoba. His name now Randy Peter Aka. Peter of Nigeria. Are you online with us here? Good morning, Mr. Peters. We say we could bring you come this conversation so that Nigerians will also hear your thoughts on, the Nigeria of our dream, our part in shaping it. So we discussed it last week. We say okay, we could continue on this week, and we also want to hear your thought. Now, in 2023, 37 million Nigerians registered, young people. We suppose play a very key role in determining how the election result for that last 2023 election supposed to be. But regrettably, only 11 million Nigerians, young Nigerians, come outside. What will be your take on this one?
The thing about Nigeria is everybody, many people, or most of us, we don't like our current situation. And then we vex, say the country no good. But unfortunately, anger is not a plan. say you dey vex for system is not a strategy. You can be angry for 65 years like Nigerians have been and nothing will change. Because the important thing be say when you dey angry, the next question be say which action you dey take to change the situation wey make you angry. Because Oyibo talk say repeating the same action and expecting a different result is insanity. Na craze you dey craze be that. So as we dey vex every day, with 30 years ago, pikin wey dey born for 90s go shout up NEPA. The one wey they go born for this 2026 wey me and you dey talk go still shout up NEPA. Why? Because the people wey dey vex so, they no channel their anger to take the right action to liberate themselves. That is why Nigeria today don't be where the total number of people as you talk we register for 2023 according to INEC was about 93 million people. From the same INEC data, about 87 million collect their PVC. If you total the people who vote for all the candidates, Obi, Tinubu, Atiku, Kwankwaso for presidency, they are less than 28 million. So my brother, more than 50 million people register, collect PVC, but decide not to vote. So the question where you go ask, they say, why? The answer is simple. Many Nigerians don't believe say their votes they count. They don't believe say that thing when they come and come do on election every 4 years, now they choose leader. They believe say just as it happened for 2023, you go come out, come vote, then for night, person go wake up for INEC, announce you want INEC, announce for midnight, and then go tell you say make you go to court. But one thing we dey fail to understand be say that thing where they make people know they come out, come vote, is they intentional. When politicians get criminal, they get mischievous, they no want make people they participate. You know why? When few people participate for election, it dey easy to buy votes, it dey easy to rewrite results, it dey easy to read. Because the shrine of INEC reading na for collation center. So Nigerians must understand say the more you want to see election make your vote count, the more you go dey motivated to come out and vote. Because when a massive number of people come out insist say their vote must count, nobody fit read against them. For 1993, when they do Abiola election, they did not get a beaver, they did not get electronic transmission. But people come out insist say, now this person like they want. So for the Nigeria of your dream, the question will be, what thing you they do to achieve them? When they try to frustrate you to buy your vote, they try to frustrate you, make you no vote. Are you agreeing to that? Because once you agree to that, you have become accomplice to your own slavery, and we can never achieve the Nigeria of our dream.
Thank you very much, Randy Peter, my guy. Yeah, now very wonderful. More colors in now sermon you give now. So, but my partner, my oga for studio here, want to ask you the next question. Mr. Fred Noko, please go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Randy Peter, good morning to you once more. It's nice having you here. My name is Noko Fred. Last week, when this topic came up for discussion, I did mention a few things. I will still repeat some of them here and ask for your thoughts. So the first thing I want to ask you is, I drew an analogy between Nigeria and Ghana, where, statistics shows. Can you hear me, please? Okay. Where statistics shows that in Nigeria, people of age in the secondary school level who registered to vote in Nigeria was between 20 and 35%. In Ghana, it was 45 to 60%. The people in tertiary institution in Nigeria who registered to vote was between 30 and 45%. In Ghana, it was 55 to 70%. Now, graduates who registered to vote, all these I'm calling are within the age bracket of youth. In Nigeria, it was 35 to 50%, while in Ghana, it was 60 to 75%. The question I want to ask you is that, what do you think account for this gap in registration to vote and actually, because if you do not register, it means you do not vote. So what do you think is the gap in this? Do you think that it has anything to do with proper sensitization of citizens? Or what is your opinion? What's your idea here?
Very much. My God, the answer is simple. It is trust. Believe in the system. Or do Nigerians believe that elections are free and fair in this country? Our people, Nigerians, a lot of people or human beings, we need to understand that democracies thrive when citizens participate. Bad government does not exist in a vacuum. Human beings are the collateral for bad government. Today, everybody they shouting security, people are dying. There are people who would be alive today if they had a government that took security seriously. It is good that you brought the analogy of Ghana. Ghana, in terms of population, is not may just be maybe Lagos and Rivers combined. That is the total population of Ghana. And incidentally, I traveled to Ghana when I started this my electoral reform INEC campaign and all. We went there. I went there in September last year, and I visited the EC. They call their own electoral commission. We call INEC of Ghana. And incidentally, they were having by-elections because a member of parliament for Ghana died and they needed to replace some seats. So somebody from the EC told me, said that in what happened, that in Ghana, we conduct elections so that bad politicians do not reward themselves with more power. And I asked myself the question, I say in Nigeria, the reverse is the case. We do elections so that criminals can get back into office. Because from the taxi man, the cab driver who took me from airport to hotel to the EC, he was following and monitoring elections in a constituency that is not his own. So there is a level of patriotism and civic engagement that has been built in the country because there is a consciousness to know that this incident or this event we hold, we call elections, they have consequences. Do you know that by happenstance, somehow, our former INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, was in Ghana before their last presidential election, claiming to try to sit and help them on something they did that worked that he would not implement. The current president of Ghana, John Mahama, used to be the president. He lost to Akufo-Addo. When Akufo-Addo was leaving after 8 years, the person who contested this recently presidential election in Ghana was the incumbent vice president. They called him Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia. Bawumia ran against John Mahama in the NDC, who had been president before. And before evening of that election day, Bawumia, the sitting vice president, called Mahama to congratulate him because all the election results had already come out and had declared that he lost that election. In Ghana, including radio stations, all accurate results. The problem is the transparency in the process. Do Nigerians believe that look at Obiako local government, for example, in Lagos, in Rivers State. Is that the result that came out in 2023? If you go around in Lagos, so when people can even lose their lives in trying to vote, what is the incentive? If we have 93 million people register according to INEC, 87 million collected PVC, that is a huge number. But we have a president seated in office with less than 9 million votes. It is even less than 50%. So what kind of democracy and electoral process are we practicing? Does it build confidence in the heart of the electorate or it creates voter apathy? So that is why I'm saying that our system deliberately builds a system of voter apathy because the courage and the confidence of all corrupt politicians is a rigged electoral process.
Thank you very much. I need to thank you very much for that. But I also want to give another rider. It's just a brief question to the first one you just answered. Now there's this. A lot of people think that have this opinion that the youth just deliberately do not want to be part of our elections. But others are also arguing that some government policies deliberately, shut out a section of the youth. Now, I want to go back to between Nigeria and Ghana. In Ghana, during election day, there is what you call public holiday. Underline it, public holiday, not restriction of movement. In Ghana, when the election is ongoing, you can actually travel around the country. Nobody will ask you, why are you going there? Why are you driving? Why are you in the market? Why are you doing this? In Nigeria, the election day is not just a public holiday, it is a movement restricted day. You cannot militarize. Yeah. So it's a movement restricted day. Now, looking at our students, for example, I live in let's say Ogba in Lagos. And I'm in LASU, Lagos State University. During the time of registration, being a Nigerian, I wanted to be a patriotic one. So I registered. I couldn't go back to Ogba where I live. I registered within the school. On the day of election, it's a public holiday. And, there's restriction. Or alternative, I registered in my Ogba where I live. And on the election day, I've been school. I couldn't go back to Ogba. So on the election day, naturally, I have been disenfranchised. I couldn't vote, even if I wanted to vote. Do you think that this is also part of the reasons why some youths are, especially those who are in the university bracket, are, unable to participate in election?
Look, in fact, when we were shouting this electoral reform, a lot of Nigerians do not understand that nothing will change in Nigeria until votes begin to count. As far as what you call is a democracy is a system of government that is built on a social contract where the people willingly give power to a leader and will hold them accountable and vote them out when they chose to do so. If you fail to fix that system, which is your leadership recruitment process, you will be going around in the kind of circle that Nigeria is going through. Because one calamity will come, it will rig another person in. And in Nigeria, the painful part is there is no worst case scenario. Because one person is this bad does not mean it will not get worse. There was Occupy Nigeria. Some people thought that Jonathan was the worst thing. Then they thought that Buhari can escalate it to another level of incompetence and failure. Then they say, oh, Buhari is bad. Then now Tinubu have come. Some people are even missing Buhari. So now imagine what will make you miss Tinubu. Because you have failed to build a system, there is nowhere in the world where leaders know that power comes from the people, where they will act as recklessly as irresponsibly as Nigerian leaders. Now, that electoral process where you see that it is deliberate, the economy is bad, you are impoverished, you are poor. It happened even as small as the Ahmad Buhari FCT election that took place, I think, was it in February or March? Incidentally, I left to do something somewhere and I was traveling into Abuja that day. When we landed at the airport, for more than 40 minutes to an hour, we could not cross the airport road. What happened? Blockade. Army, NSCDC, we said, what did they happen? They say in Abuja election. So even FCT election, you cannot move from airport through Lugbe to Bega or anywhere. We cannot manage it. We need to bring military into it. So when you see that kind of thing, so a person who registered, as you say, you stay in Nomba, you are a student, you stay in Lasso. If you want to prepare for mobilization to go to Lasso, you will need transport, you will need accommodation in Lasso area, you will need feeding money, you will check any other thing miscellaneous that may happen. That is for you to move a day before. So you will be say you define money for data to subscribe your MTN, you go kuku say after all they vote no they can make us don't judge me for Opa. Anything where they want to say after all if we vote they will still rewrite them. That is part of all the deal. The only thing that makes a difference is the determination of the people. Nigerians must know that the system is rigged against you. It is such that it must ensure that you are down and the persons who are very criminal-minded will prevail through that system. No matter what comes to you as a means of apathy, Nigerians must rise up and say, look, we have had enough. Our votes need to count. We need to come out en masse to vote our leaders and insist that the votes must count. Why do we not have electronic voting in Nigeria? Why can we not have a system of voting that is seamless? Why must you vote if you collect PVC, you are in Lagos, you must travel to Abakaliki, you must go to Ugeli, you must go to Sagbama to go and vote? All of that confusion is to reduce the persons that will participate. It is the people who will insist and say, this is not working in our best interest. Let us change it.
Thank you very much, Randy Peters. We have used 20 minutes for this discussion. It's a wonderful one. Rex Ikibu and Igoro, you are here watching live. Cadmus Atake, you're also live watching, and so many others that I cannot pronounce your name. We're not too much for joining this program. This is the Enviro Gist on Quest 93.1 FM. So, my guy here, Peter, listen, my guy here, named Endurance Uriakoba, one of Africa, the Oracle of Kodaf. He won't ask you your own question because he falls within the bracket of the youth. You understand? So, listen to his own part first, where, so that more hear what you want to tell her.
Thank you, Oga Randy Peters, for all what you've been saying, the enlightenment and all that. Now, before I ask the question, make I quickly tell our people out there, say, as long as we are not democratic citizens, we cannot have a government that is democratic. And then those 60 million persons when get voters card when you can for and this way no see me to vote, you do not have a right to complain about bad governance as long as you are not part of the process. And that will now bring me to my question. I say youth. I discovered say there was a disruption in 2023 election in some polling units, and these disruptions when it take place, they were orchestrated by certain persons when they empower certain kind of youth to go our polling units, go disrupt elections. So my question now, why do you think Nigeria youth disrupt election despite the state of the country? It never tire them. And then, do you think this can change in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. And directly to answer the question, Nigerian youths are very peaceful people who want a country they can live and thrive. Persons, criminal elements who go to rig elections are persons who are used by the same desperate political actors who want to steal the mandate of the people at all costs. I know young people who come together, mobilize, use their own money. In fact, for some polling units, they count votes till night. Now people bring their generator, buy fuel. They are young Nigerians. So when you see people who come out to disrupt election, if people are criminals, they should be called criminals. And then when people are criminals or engage in criminality, there must be a punishment. The challenge with the Nigerian system is we reward criminality. People will carry ballot box, people will thief. Professor will rig elections for senator will be senate. They convict them, he go jail. The senator, the parliament. A governor in Kogi during the election for senatorial duty will bring Natasha. According to confirmed reports, you carry bulldozer, you cut roads into two so that election materials could not go to certain communities. According to EFCC, after their investigation for money laundering, they say you thief more than 80 billion. You pay school fee of children in advance. Today, as I am talking to you, he is an APC candidate running for Senate. So it is not whether about there is criminality going on. Everywhere in the world, no system is perfect. The question is, what are the consequences for doing wrong and what are the rewards for doing good? When people continue to see that in Nigeria today, if you are a very corrupt commissioner or House of Assembly member, you are likely to become governor. If you are a very corrupt governor, you are likely to go to the Senate. You are likely to become Senate president. You are likely to be chosen as vice president. You are very likely to become president. Go and check the list of people who knew Ribadu, the former EFCC chairman, current national security advisor, mentioned as the most corrupt governors as of 1999 to 2007. Check where most of them are today. So it is about we as young people knowing that a majority of us want better. Nigerian youth that I know today, they have little or no energy. Many people to invest in a system they believe will not work. That's why everybody just be hostile to Japa. But I keep telling us, you can still be a victim of a system you chose to ignore. The children where they bush for your state today, they will not come out to come protest. So it is up to us to look and say, we have done the same thing for a long time. This is where it has led all of us. Now, how do we move forward? We tried to get it right in 2023. It did not work. Nation building is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We must learn lessons from 2023, recalibrate and get ready for 2027. Because the risk is that if you fail to do nothing, what you see is what you get, and we continue to pay. Because in Nigeria today, the poor are the subsidy for the rich.
I like that one. He said, in Nigeria today, the poor are the subsidy for the rich. Thank you very much, Mr. Randy Peters of Peter of Nigeria. You too much for this plenty testimony. Now testimony, Mr. Fred. These sermons where you don't give our good people of Nigeria, good people of Delta State especially. Because as we did inside studio here, so the phones are vibrating. People really want to ask questions, they want to speak to you. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, go ahead quickly. Okay. Mr. Peter, can you hear him? Okay, he can hear you. Go ahead.
I can hear you very well.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay, my name is Alfred from Kokori.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Alfred.
Okay, this is a very good, interesting program that you people brought this morning. I started voting for years ago during the time of Awolowo. I'm now going to reach years. We cannot have a credible election in this our country. We cannot. When we are little, Fela used to sing. We think that Fela is a no smoker. Say Tifu government. I think Tifu. It is all those things that they make the government to kill Fela because they don't want people. The government didn't want people to criticize them. Now, you can see what happened in Google now. This morning and yesterday in the rain program. Many people went to go and collect them. Many people who went to go and collect their BBC, which they didn't get. How can we get credible election? Now, you see what is wrong with our government. What they don't decide, they say yes. And this person that you want enter them. There is nothing with the magic. There is nothing that anybody can do. Nothing everybody can do. They are seeing it and they will change it to be. You see? So, what is this now? We are celebrating June 12. If it is true that we are celebrating June 12, how many political parties there in June 12? Only two. America will say that we are working, they are very democratic, they have only two political parties. But our Nigeria, why do we have up to 1, 2, 3, 4 to 17, 18 political parties? And many of them, they have nothing doing there. They have nothing doing there. You see? So, now, if it is true that we want to say democracy, let's put our political parties into two. If you decide from this one, you don't say you are going to the second one. Not to say you are going from year to year. All these things, they are just using this thing to confuse us, to disturb the peace of the nation. So, and when you see the election we have during Abiola and Tofa, all of us will line up. We line up in 2 lines. They people spend money. It's no.
Sadly, it's like we lost Papa Alfred. Papa Alfred said he's well over 80 and he started voting during the time of Awolowo. He's advising that we should have 2 political parties. That's the long and short of his own advice, yes? That we should have 2 political parties so that we'll have direction. If you are for this. So, like he says, maybe you're going to deceive us from year to year to year to year to year. All right. So, we're still expecting the calls, or you can send us text messages. Or we'll have one now. Hello. Good morning. What's the name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Efo.
Okay, Mr. John, go ahead from Efo.
Hello,
go ahead quickly. Come again with that question. Come again with the question, please. We didn't hear you. Yes. The election coming. Okay, thank you very much. The man said his name is John, and he's of the opinion that votes do not count. Mr. Peter, can you please respond to that man? Let him understand something about his thought. He said, votes do not count.
The question where I will ask the person, because not be only him, with all due respect to my brother, it is a mindset that is shared by many Nigerians. But because him don't ask, I will want to ask, in Delta State, for example, how many million people, how many registered voters did Delta? at least there should be not less than 2 million. Let me just put it at an average. There could be more, let's say 2 million. So the question when you go ask yourself as a Warri person, as a Delta, as a Dome, so how many did the people we know they make votes for Delta count? It is important to interrogate it. As we get from head, we sabi, we know, we wise, we smart, we be people, intelligent people. How many people make this? Their vote not the count. So that is why I always ask Nigerians the question: the power of the people and the criminals in power, who is stronger? And that statement when you go continue to the top, they vote no count, they vote no count. Today, I think in Delta, the 3 immediate past governors of Delta, I think they have their children in one office or the other. Some of them are running for re-election. From the first governor in 1999, from Oburi to Dragan to Okowa, everybody is moving children somewhere. How are they moving there? If you look at the whole economy of Delta, one of the beautiful oil producing states, very wealthy. In those days, everybody, Shell, Slumberja, this, NPA, that and that. What is the economy today? That time, everybody go, they run, everybody say, now then, I've oil money. In fact, recently, I was watching a program from Delta where they said, young people are fighting with that INEC should implement redistricting and all of that, fighting the first lady, Shekiri and all of that. It is because we have continued to sit down and give power to people who are criminal-minded to decide the fate of every other person. My brother, vote will count when a majority of the people say make it count. Now, for that same Delta, night police officer get mine, carry gun, shoot Ogene mine or what the boy's name in public, and today, if nobody say the thing come outside, we don't know how many people the body don't kill when nobody sabi. So we must understand that when we continue to say vote no they count, one thing we dey talk is that our life no they count. Now some people go they die, they go, suffer go they increase, everything go they go. It is true that people want to rig election. The question is the number of people who are victims to election rigging, are we fewer than the people who are rigging the election? If the entire Delta state cook for people where they rig election, they not go fit chop and finish. We they chop the one where few people gather for one place, they cook, and we continue to complain. We must move from conversation of the vote no go count to how do we make it count? Because if it does not count, your life will not count. The only reason why Donald Trump go there in a hurry to implement his manifesto is because America will not even give you 4 years. This November 2026, they do what they call midterm elections. If Trump not do well, the Democrats may take over the U.S. House of Representatives, the Congress or Senate. It makes it difficult for the president in the White House. Why? Because they know power comes from the people. If we want to get power as a people, we must move from conversations of it no go count to it must count.
Thank you very much, Randy Peter. We'll have a caller on the line now. His name is Evangelist Christopher, I believe. How are you?
Yeah, it's a pleasure for you guys to bring in this great man. Which has is a pleasure hearing from you this morning. And you wanted to contest for the House of Representatives. I want to put my keep in your constitution. I don't know what are you doing about it. Anyway, let's come to your issue. What is the strategy on ground in that Peter? Like you rightly said, anger is not a plan, but I believe that positive anger is the beginning of the plan. Alright? So what is the strategy, the national strategy of grant? I know that you, this Mama P in those days, after you in Abuja, another activist, okay, political activist that after the development of Nigeria. What is the national plan for grant so that we can stop these guys from reading? I even thought by now we'll have the electoral law whereby some of the results will be this time. But before our eyes, these guys still have their way, and today we want to see one election whereby there will be manner election of results right before our eyes. Our intelligence for this. So how do you want to actually prevent these people from reading it? It's what we know that. Look at what they are already doing. They're trying to cast their voter card already. It's already going on. We know that election result was called by 4 a.m. We're voting in the morning, but election result was called by 4 a.m. in this country. In the midnight, people are asleep. What is the national strategy of grant to stop INEC from bringing the election? That's what we should be talking about. Because I think that we have that is pro-rigging? How do we have an electoral law that is anti-rigging? That is what we need to be talking about. What is the agenda to stop rigging? That is when we can stop this rigging. Because they have the military, they have the police, they have INEC, they have the judiciary. They will tell you go to the courts. Do you understand? So what is the plan? This way you can have that reflex when the judge have confidence and they are supposed to be looking until that, forget it. You don't know alone for their laughing for us who are going out to phone and you get my job with your man. Because it is so what? No agenda to stop this race. Thank you. Respond to that, sir.
Thank you very much, Evangelist Christopher. So, Mr. Peters, quickly just respond to what Evangelist Christopher just said now so that we can have another call.
Well done, Evangelist. In fact, it's a good question because it came almost with his own answer. When party gets, you control army, control police, control INEC, judiciary standing on the mandate. INEC has become the electoral wing of the APC and all of that. So the only person will remain now you and me. That is it. When you talk about people where they go, the National Assembly, you need electoral act. The good thing about this electoral act is it was not a lose altogether. At least today in 2026, electoral act carries electronic transmission of results inside the document. Although they put caveat say that where there is no network, let them resort to manual. The question will now be, will you allow make there no be network? So the question will not be whether there is a national plan, because you want plan pass government where they control everybody. If you want electoral bill to be passed, make the reform INEC. Who and who they go for National Assembly for Delta State? Who be the senator where you they support? Are there people who support free and fair election? But other than that, the conversation is this and what we must know. In 2027, it is not just about one party or the other. It is Nigerians against a failed system. Army where they want you to rig election. Now one army general, retired major general, they kidnap, he died for custody, they don't release the body, make the burial. Now police, now they kill for Borno State, how many of them? So within that system, we must come together and find a way to insist that you vote and protect your vote. So in 2027, I want to assure you that the first thing you must do is not to give up. Do not give up on election before the election happens. Because if they rig the election, not because one person be too strong, now because you decided to allow it to be rigged before the election boiled. So for 2027, be determined that the vote of the people will count. Know that you are working against a system that is against you. But when the people come together and stand together, the power of the people will be greater than the criminals in power. In due course, you will know what we are going to do. And even you, for where you be, we must organize and mobilize.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peters. We'll have one more call. Hello.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's the name and where are you calling from? Come again. Oh, Mr. Godwin from Munkwata. Go ahead quickly. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Godwin from Mukwata Kingdom. He say make INEC stop to dey collect money, but only you still answer the question. You when they hungry, if you see money, you will collect the money. So it all boils down to your integrity.
Yeah. So let me ask Mr. Peters. Okay.
We'll have one more call. Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. What's the name and where are you calling from? Pastor Philip, step away from your radio and give us your thoughts and your contribution.
Yeah. What I want to say, somebody who wants to contest as a president or a governor, to me, he's supposed to resign from his office a year before the calendar dates. So if you can do that, you will not have the power to control those who want to control. Maybe control the
Thank you very much.
And you think that the vice president who will take over will not work for him?
Hello, Mr. Peters, quickly, please respond to that.
Okay.
No, Oga wanted to ask a question.
Because if you say he should resign, first,
that he has to drop his vice president and pick another person. And then we must ensure that that person who you are picking, or the vice president who will take over, will not also have partisan interest. See, there is nowhere where there is no corruption. Even in Vatican, where the Pope is, or in Saudi Arabia, the holy land of Islam, there is corruption. It is strong systems and institutions that make penalties and consequences such that we do not have strong men more than strong institutions. Nigerians must wake up and build institutions to work independently of desperate political actors. In 2020, when Donald Trump lost his second term election the first time, he called the Secretary of State from Georgia. He said, can you find 11 or so thousand votes? We won Georgia, we won. The Secretary of the State in the state of Georgia insisted, and he lost that election to Biden, and he came back and won again. That is the US president, the most powerful person in the world, arguably. So if that kind of a person can subject themselves to a process and institutions that work, it tells us that in Nigeria, our problem is that it is strong men controlling institutions, not institutions working for the good of the people. You must fix that one.
Thank you very much. All right. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. The name of where are you calling from, sir?
Yeah, this is Mr. Lucky. I'm calling from Owolobo.
Mr. Lucky from Owolobo. Quickly, let's have your thoughts.
I want to first and foremost appreciate you, and most especially your resources. That's very active. I believe Nigeria can have 10 of his kind. I believe we'll get it right someday. The all I want to say is this. You know, the political empire, I believe we are one of the areas that Nigeria electorates have. Why am I saying this? Take for instance, in a system whereby the sitting president decides who to be the head of the INEC, what do you think will happen? So all this journey, I believe we should have started it from how not the executive to choose the head of the political empire. It would have been that independent body, because they call it INEC, independent. But you see today now, they are not independent. They are being controlled by the executive because they said who paid the price tag to change the tune. So you see, because all this, I don't think they are going to happen in 2023 because all they have set the ball rolling already. But if we must get it right, we must make sure that the next time somebody who wants to head that office, that exotic office, shouldn't be determined by the sitting president, because if we allow it to take place, that the same thing will continue to happen. Because there is no way we expect him to play something different from his master. So I believe if Nigeria can truly stand on their ground and say, somebody who will manage that affair, will hear that affair, should not be appointed by Mr. President. I believe we can start getting it right from there. So that's just all I said I should contribute. Thank you.
Thank you very much, bro. No be small thing, no. See, when we as Nigerians ready to be Nigerians, when we will be Nigerians. Now I complain with the complaint. But
let me ask.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Fred.
Mr. Peters, I hope you can hear me.
You can.
Yes. I'll begin by appreciating you for all that you have said today. But I want to ask a question, because taking a look at all these comments from people who are calling in, it looks like, the Nigerian citizen do not really have a role to play in shaping our society, because we keep pointing at government. Government should do this, government should do that. What exactly should be the role of the citizen in a democratic setting like ours? Do we have a role to play? Is it possible that we can, even though, just like the last caller said, that the president should not be the one appointing the INEC person, but we also know that even the judiciary and the security apparatus are also under the pocket of the government. Does the citizens of this country have a very important role to play, even though the government has this control over certain people, certain institutions?
All right, go ahead, sir.
Look, the clear answer to that question will be, not only that do they have a role to play, if there is government or without the people, then it's not a government. Democracy is a government of the people, for the people, by the people, the literal, definition. So if we even do not think that if the citizens have a role to play, the first question will be, how did the leaders get there in the first place? Because power is supposed to come from the people. So as an issue, if citizens do not understand that the circumstance you find yourself is a result of your actions and inactions, you will not be able to undo it. When we continue to complain and say this person is bad, how did Tinubu become president? How did Sheriff Oboriwori become Delta State Governor and Monday Onyeme become Deputy Governor? How have we continued to move like this? Is it outside the people? So now the question will now be, the people will now ask themselves, if the people who are representing us consistently are not a reflection of our personal aspirations, our lives are not better. If you check around the whole of Delta, we move from Ubolokoso to Okokoko to Shagolo or to Eku or Jesse, Mosoga, we have issues everywhere. So now, what exactly do we do? Because if we do not fix it, we will only continue to lament and complain. Because the problem with Nigeria democracy is that it has been hijacked. While the leaders have privatized the profits, they have outsourced the losses to you. So we are now left with complaining. The person where they talk about the issue of INEC chairman, it was one of our reports to the National Assembly requesting that it should be amended. Of course, when person where they play for football match, now you they pick referee, you have rigged the game half to yourself because now you pick referee. But the question will then be, even if the president did not appoint the INEC chairman, let us imagine that maybe NJC, Nigerian Judicial Council, Human Rights, or anybody, traditional leaders come together to suggest one person confirmed by the Senate. Who will release the resources to INEC? So it does not even matter who will go there. The ruling party or the government in power have a lot of leverage to exert on you that if you do not budge, you are likely not to find it easy to be there. So as it goes today, it is up to the Nigerian people. Citizens must know that the leadership is a reflection of the collective actions of the people. And then you will deal with the consequences however it goes. We have a responsibility to pick leaders. Anything that happens without the people is the democratization of disenfranchisement. That is politics without the people. The people must wake up and reinvest themselves into the question and decide that, come what may, we want to pick our leaders. We may not get it right at a point totally, but gradually we will begin from somewhere. If not, we will have this conversation 4 years later, 8 years later, God forbid, and we'll be lamenting the same story.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peters. We have just 2 minutes left in this for this program to wind up today. Endurance, so quickly.
What's your advice to the youth in the forthcoming election?
The youth are the hope of any nation. Any government that does not take care of its young population does not think about its future. Nigerian youth are more than 50 or 60% of this country. We have the capacity to decide leadership. The question is, can we unite and place focus in ensuring we take care of our lives? A lot of people, I can understand, beginning from NSAS for waiting happened 2023, people are tired. People do not believe that this system can work. That is why everywhere you did see, na japa. But as I have always said, you can still be a victim of a system you chose to ignore. So I'm begging every young person out there to know that we can be change makers. Me, Peter, who is speaking, I'm not better than the teacher where they cut in head for you, or the children where they there. The people where they don't kill for Delta, for Kwara, for ATP. It can be anybody. Between the time where I plan to japa and when I go japa, God forbid anything will happen to me. So it is up to all of us to know that if Nigeria will be great, it will be great because we decided to make it great. There is no place called Nigeria. It is we who are the people that make it Nigeria. America, where we they run to, America was built by Americans. China was built by the Chinese. Nigeria will be built by Nigerians. Not only young people, elderly people who are of good character and conscience. The legs of the fathers cannot be allowed to only the young people to clean up. Everybody who means well for this country must wake up and say, we have had enough. This system is not working. We have to change it. And in 2027, it begins by not giving up. Keep faith alive. Get your PVC. Ensure that you come out to vote and insist that your vote must count. Together, Nigeria will be okay.
Thank you very much. And our listeners, you've heard the gospel according to Randy Peter Aka. Man, you too much for being part of the Envirologist program today on Quest 93.1 FM. This is where we'll draw curtain for today's program, and I hope, Mr. Peter, when next we call on you, hope you will oblige us, yes?
Now I would.
Correct. Thank you very much. God bless you. Stay safe. And to our, and for those who are unable to reach us via calls, we are very, very sorry. Until next week, try as much as possible to stay safe. This is the Envirologist. Bye-bye for now.